All right, let's get started. Good evening, everyone, and dear jury members. Thank you for joining us on Saturday evening. This is Maharajan, and it's pleasure to be your host for next couple of hours. The Institute of Product Leadership welcomes you all for the Skillathon in Generative AI Product Management by the cohort of AI Product Management Certification Program. Our participants will present their innovative solutions, and our esteemed juries will evaluate them on key parameters. As Skillathon Go, it promises to be an evening filled with excitement, challenges, and skill demonstration. This is an event where top shortlisted participants from the cohort present their hands-on projects and portfolio towards assurance of skills to demonstrate AI-driven validation and market insights, experimentation plan and feasibility, Gen AI prototype and architecture, AI value roadmap, and ethical framework. Today's session is going to be exciting and definitely some great learning takeaways. The cohort will walk the talk of IPL mantra, learning by doing. And the audience will not just witness it live, but will also get to vote. I'll get to that in a bit. So before we move further, let me give a quick insight on what is Skillathon and why IPL emphasize on Skillathon, right? So Skillathon is an event where top performing learners from the cohort demonstrate their understanding of skill and applications in the context of real world product ideas as a part of their learning journey to industry experts and other juries. At IPL, we replace examinations with Skillathon, studying with learning by doing. The institute strongly believes that the real test of skills is to demonstrating your idea to the live audience and industry experts. Okay, moving further, this is our quick overview of the AI Product Management Certification Program. So our program is actually a globally certified program. It has a real assurance of skills versus knowledge, and it is highly focused on the career acceleration and career transition. And we have a very strong philosophy and ecosystem, which is learning by doing. So now it's a special time. So let's welcome juries for the day. So we have three prolific juries for today's Skillathon. And first up, we have Srinivas sir, who's a senior director of product management at Salesforce. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Maharajan, and hello, everyone.
We would like to hear a short and quick introduction about you.
Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for having me here today. I'm Srinivas Purushottama. You can call me Srini, Senior Director with Product Management Team here at Salesforce for Commerce Cloud. I'm really excited to be here, part of this jury, and to kind of look at what you guys have all, from an idea to generative AI product management thought process that you have built in. I'm really looking forward to kind of hear from you all.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure having you for the day. And second up, we have Anuj Jain, sir, who's head of products at Nurex. Welcome, sir. And we would like to hear a quick introduction about you.
Thank you, Mahajan. Hey, everyone. Really excited to be here. I'm currently leading the product for Nurex, which is a startup in the AI world. We are focusing more on the voice AI agents. And previously, I was also leading the AI product team at Sprinkler, which is again in a customer experience side. Um, really looking forward to learn, which is in this space, which is such a evolving space, and everyone has a lot of learnings. So really excited to be here.
Last up, we have Kaif Akbar, sir, who's a co-founder at IBGC, and he was recently a ex-VP product and strategy at Repro. Welcome, sir. And we would like to hear a quick and short introduction about you.
Thank you. Good evening. I have over 2 decades of a journey, professional journey, initially in the core product development from the core tech side, then consulting, and then moved to the product management. And last 12 plus years is on the product management and leadership. And in past worked for Adobe, HP, Wipro, multiple MNCs, and a couple of startups as well. And glad that you reached out for this activity and being the jury to guide the cohort and those people who are ignited with bringing the innovation and their ideas in their passion and their journey. So definitely looking forward. Let's see. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Thank you so much. And like very warm welcome all the juries, and thank you for taking the time to join us as a juries for the day. And we'll proceed further now. So before we proceed further, I have quick set of guidelines now, right? So yeah, here is the quick set of guidelines. So we have four teams presenting the Skillathon today, and the time limit for them is going to be 10 minutes per team. So 10 minutes is going to be the presentation, in which 7th minute I'll give a gentle reminder, and 10th minute is going to be a hard stop. And once 10 minutes is over, we'll go for the Q&A and feedback from the juries. Then we will go for the audience poll. Then we'll go for the move on to the next team accordingly, right? And only juries can ask questions to the participants after the presentations. And if audience, if you have any questions, you can drop it in the Zoom chat, Zoom comment box. And everybody gets to vote. Please note, jury score has the highest weightage. And after the question and feedback by the juries will also give the score, out of five, one being the lowest and five being the highest. All right. All right. Let's move for the presenters and presentations for the day. And first up, we have Pooja Kimka, sorry, and Amol Wagmare. Pooja and Amol, you guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Let
All
me
right.
share my
So,
screen.
yeah, who's presenting the screen, Amol?
I am presenting. I just share. I just asked for the request.
One minute, one.
Sharing approval.
Yeah, you can go ahead now.
Okay, perfect.
Once your introduction starts, your timer starts. All the best.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Give me just one moment. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let me go into the presentation mode. Hello everyone. My name is Amol, and me and Pooja are going to present this product called Infinite Stories. So let me give you like a quick starter. So as a PM, they say you have to be like a very good storyteller. But what we think is like not just PM, right? Everyone wants to be like a good storyteller. There are like so many use cases where you have to tell a story to anybody, to your friend, to your kids, to your parents. So everybody has to like have like a really good storyteller. So that's why we are presenting you this our project called Infinite Stories. So we are using AI for impactful storytelling. Our vision is to become the Canva for storytelling. So democratizing the narrative for creation for everyone. So we quickly go through this like, storytelling graph. So as I mentioned, like everyone wants to tell the story, but they're like a lot of challenges there. So the stories are still, they don't have like enough newness. And uh, uh, let's say for parents, right? So parents wants to tell a different story to every day to their kids, right? So story has to be creative, story has to be new, story has to be like have that kind of like a newness factor to it. Not just parents, even the creators and professionals also struggle with those storytelling gaps. So we focusing on one cohort or one target persona. We call it as a Sarah, the busy mom, right? So everyone knows that they are like around like a 30 to 40 age group, maybe have like a couple of kids. The thing is, in order to put like give their kids like some nice time, they want to tell them a story, but the story they can't come up with like a new story every day, right? So that's the cohort that we are targeting about. So the business. So I'll show you the demo. It's mainly the how Sarah is using our product to create a story in minute and then make their kids happy. Just click on this one. I'll also share this link on the Zoom chat. So this is what our project starts with. So it's like, okay, so every story begins with you. you click on once upon a time. I want a story for my kid. So I'll just, the Sarah will just answer a few questions there. Okay, so I want to tell a story to my 5 to 7 year old kid. The story is about a superhero action, right? And I want Spider-Man, Elsa, and Mario into it. So that's my kids like a favorite characters. It happens in let's say in a candy world, where it's like a in the fairy tale times, and how should the stories talk about? We can be like it's a super exciting or really funny. I'm thinking about like going mysterious here. I can also have like some of my custom prompts. And then yeah, here we are. So we are building with the help of these 5 or 6 prompt that user is selecting. We create a simple 500 word story. There's a nice image to it. It just so then Sarah will just read this story to their kid, and then that's it. Easy, like a very like a few steps. They can just build a thing and then just tell the story to their kid. We also have like we are also thinking about like using this like some more generated tools like Nano Banana and then 11 Labs to read it for me, to create a video out of that, and then just make that night even more magical, right? So that's the demo that we have. I'll send you the link later. Let's go back to the presentation. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So, Pooja, do you want to take it over?
Sure. Thank you, Amol. Hi, everybody. This is Pooja here. I am a product manager with a B2B SaaS company called Zenoti. And Amol and I, we delved into this problem. Like Amol said, we're both parents, and we both felt that as parents, we want to tell magical stories. As product managers, we want to create amazing pitches for our stakeholders. And as, friends with business people, we know that they also want to create sales pitches. Like there are a lot of these different business personas, different personas, I'm sorry, who have had this problem, not now, but since a very long time. So why now? Why are we thinking about this now? Because this is the AI inflection point. This is where it can be done very easily, because LLMs now can have multi-turn, multi-contextual, like it's very easy for LLMs to now have, multi-contexts to create all of these instantly. So a few things that Amol just touched upon, but we didn't show you in the demo is, one is based on a few tags and a few sort of hyper-personalized context, we are creating a story. But apart from that, we are also doing images, we are also doing videos if needed, we're doing audio. We didn't mention, but audio, we were also planning to bring it hyper-personalized audio as well, which means you want the audio in the sound of Shah Rukh Khan or Amitabh Bachchan or Katrina Kaif, or my voice. I want my kid to hear the story in my voice. I want my boss to hear about my annual review, my achievements in my annual review in my voice. So all of that can be done. Now, again, there are a lot of products out there who are doing each of these pieces, or at least letting you get there, a little bit get there in all of these aspects. However, what we are focusing on is, one is, unlike our competitors, we are prioritizing age appropriate safety content from our first persona perspective. So from a parent and child safety perspective, age appropriate content. Second is interactive building. A lot of, all of these use cases require it to be personalized to my context in terms of what I need to pitch, what is my goal in this pitch conversation. And also this dual focus of, am I a professional in this request that I'm making, or am I a parent? So having all of these use cases covered in the same place, that all of these are our USPs as, as a product. I'll quickly take you through the product architecture as well. So when the user opens the page, the first thing they're looking at is an amazing UI created via React. So it's a React interface created within Lovable. The React interface will send inputs to the backend, which creates the prompts, taking in all the tags that were attached, which is all the context that you gave, plus context that we have already trained the model with, plus the guidelines that we've already given it. All of that, sort of prompt is then sent to Gemini. Then Gemini creates a story out of it. That story is then sent to Llama, which is an open source model for evaluation to understand how relevant is the output to what was the what were the set of tags given to the story. Based on the evaluation result, this story is finally displayed on the user's page. Now, that is the text of the story. For image, we've used Gemini. For video, we've used Nano Banana. And for audio, we've integrated with 11 Labs. Amol, do you want to go to the next slide?
I'm sorry to interrupt. You have 3 more minutes.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
From a responsible AI framework, again, I've mentioned bits and parts of this before. It's all age appropriate filters that we've already customized the prompt with. There is privacy. There is no PII data and no COPA and full COPA compliance. There is transparency in terms of whatever you generate. It is AI generated. It has AI generated watermarks, so there is no publishing rights or privacy constraints around. Piracy constraints around it. Well, you want to go to the next one?
Yeah.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
right now, from only the parent usage, parent kid story generation point of view, we've already devised two models, which one is free, so where you get text and images only, and you get 5 stories a month. You can't do more than that. And then there's a personal plan where you pay $9.99 a month. You get unlimited stories. You get personalization, interactive stories, and plus you get the audio and visual narration as well. This is only from one persona point of view. When we bring in other personas into the demo, then we bring in more models as well.
Yeah.
Amol, you want to take over?
Yes. On the go-to-market strategy, we are thinking about like starting it as a beta launch, mainly for like only for 500 waitlist users. This is mainly to gauge the interest if you want to change something in there, and also thinking about like how we can optimize our tokens. We have like some design already in place on how to use the cache stories or how to optimize those tokens effectively. After that is done, we'll go with the public launch where we can go for like product hunt or parenting forums to target that with. And then next thing is the growth loops that where you can share those stories and all those viral content to be there to just grow this product further. On the milestone side, we are thinking about like in 6 months, 10K users with like a paid tier. In 12 months, 50K users with even more features added, like video generation, saving your progress, having like a continuation of your stories, like what I said yesterday. Just continue that story with the today, adding some more flavors. And in future, we wanted to expand the personas, not just for parents, but also for creators, professionals as well. So it will bring in like a even bigger market for us. We are also thinking about using some kind of like working with like some kind of publishers to have like the rack framework highlighted. Let's take an example of Amar Chitra Katha, right? So they have like a lot of like stories which are proprietary stories. If we can build that thing into our system, then we can have like a very personalized Amar Chitra Katha kind of twist to your stories. So that's like a very good kind of like which can also contain all those piracy proof models there. And then as I mentioned, interactive is like more videos, more visuals there. So it will have like more interactive storytelling in future is what we are looking for. I think that's
Sorry to
it.
interrupt. Okay, you're done. Okay, your time
Yeah,
is up.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's a good one. We'll go for the jury's feedback and question and answers QA and feedback, right? So first up, we'll start with Anuj sir. So you want to go ahead? You want to ask questions? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, hey Amol, Pooja, like being a parent, something I really can relate to this pain point. But one question I have is, I'm also currently using, let's say, the Gemini, ChatGPT, real-time models, and I try to, play the bedtime stories using that. I face one specific challenge. which is the kind of wordings which they use is not something which my child can easily relate to. So the vocabulary which we use versus what these models provide. So that has been one challenge. And so the question from my end is, were you able to discover that as an insight, and how are you planning to solve for that so that it is more child friendly kind of
Yeah.
wording? Because the story you showed in the as an example also was
Yes.
a bit complex for that age group. And also, like, how are you planning to differentiate against like just using this Gemini or Chat GPT, because these are free, readily available, people are much more familiar. So just want to have those two questions.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so for your first question, definitely that was like a problem also we also faced when we started with like our journey with that. So what we added here, if you see at the one level here is we are asking about the story, how the story should sound like. So here we are also making sure like giving them like a even more granular kind of like control over the stories sound. Maybe it's like a 10-year-old is telling that story to a 5-year-old kind of a thing. So we can have like a some more writing styles. We can templatize those things for easy selection. But we are also can have like a even more elaborate prompt to have like those stories which are like very easily digestible for that kind of like a cohort. So yeah, so I totally agree with this question, but with our prompt engineering, we can definitely solve those use cases, and we can also train our model to get like a even more simpler. We can also have like some feedback loop that okay, this story is good for you or not. So based on the thumbs up or thumbs down, or those typical like a chat feedbacks, we can also improve our system and then make it more relevant. Second question, I actually forgot what the second question is.
Second
On
question was that how are you planning to differentiate this against like
Perfect.
Gemini,
Yeah.
ChatGPT,
Yeah.
which are free? So why do you think somebody would pay like $10 per month for this?
Totally. Yeah. So as I mentioned, our main cohort is this like a very busy mom. So they are like already tired with all the tech or all those things, all the technical things that they are doing during the night time. So this is like a very easy, like even kid can actually select those simple 5 or 6 prompts very easily within a minute, and they can ready to go. There is no kind of like a you have to create all those like a crazy like a long prompts to do that. It's like very easy, like a very user friendly way to do that. And we are also saving this so we are also thinking about like saving this stories in your kind of like book, so that next time when you are telling the story, we already know the context that you did yesterday, and then we build the story on top of your yesterday's world, right? So we also have this kind of like memory in place, which you can be using, which you don't typically have it with like a very text-based chat platform. So yeah, those are like two things I think of. Pooja, if you have anything, please.
And you're absolutely what Amol said. And Anuj, you yourself said that you faced problems with, the tone, the kind of tone the generally like a general model like GPT will take. So what we did is like here, for example, one of our previous iterations of this model also had how do you want to sound like? How do you, and you could put in the author name. So you could put somebody like, Sudha Murthy, or somebody like Amol was giving example, a 10-year-old Indian, to make it very to make the vernacular of the story also very much localized and very much based on that age group. That is one thing. The second thing is that uh, so we said that there are, apart from the story being generated, there are three other things happening. One is there's an image being generated, then there's a animation video also being generated, and there's a voice part also to it. The animation video is where two things could happen. One is it could be like a trailer kind of a thing, so like a 10-second trailer or a 15-second trailer for you to look at, which sort of piques your interest, and that is what helps you to get your kid into that whole vibe of, I'm going to tell you a story and slowly I'm going to take you there where you start reading stories on your own as well, because if you want to take your child and you want to encourage your child to start reading stories on their own. The second part of it is creating an entire like a series or a movie out of it, because if you create an entire video and then you stitch it together, you make like a series of video out of it, which becomes something that you've created, which you can publish.
Yeah.
And one other persona that we were looking at is also a content creator. So again, as a content creator, there's a huge market out there right now where people are content creators, influencers, but they have so much going on. They need like very easy tools which talk to each other, which are put together very nicely, so that they don't spend a lot of time in the task of creating content, but instead spend more time, thinking about what kind of content they want to create. We feel this would ideally solve that problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And just
Thank you.
yeah.
Srini, so your questions and feedback?
Sure, I can go next. Thanks, Pooja and Amol. I think this has come out really well. I think the clarity of the problem statement was really, really good. The way you guys personalized it and narrated the story on behalf of Sarah was also really great. A couple of questions that's on top of my mind. Number one is, did you guys experiment this with few customers? And what are their feedback? Are they kind of willing to pay that extra amount to kind of get this, access to this particular app? That's number one.
Okay.
Second, I'm really curious to know how would this evolve from here? You got the first MVP here. What would be the roadmap looking like going forward? What has been your feedback as well?
Sure, I can take a first stab and then Amol
Yeah.
pitch
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've tested it out with a bunch of our friends and colleagues, because our primary persona was parents. So we went with that group first. Uh, we took their feedback and we iterated, and this is the end product after their feedback. We've gone with around 12 people up until now for testing, and they've liked that they were able to personalize it based on what their kid liked. So one parent's kid was in that that zone of what is it called? I don't remember the characters. Some pet pawns or something like that. So they were able to customize the story to fit that particular character. Or Elsa, suppose somebody's in that frozen zone right now. So that's what they really liked. Of course, your second question was, what's the next step, right? How do we go forward from here? So from a feedback perspective, we also got the feedback that sometimes it's great that there's a story that they can tell, but sometimes they don't even have time to do that. And it's not really great parenting, but sometimes they just need to outsource that part as well to the product. So that's why we came up with the whole concept of audio, and that too customized audio, where I can train the model. Like I can give my audio sample. We haven't built it yet, but that's where we thought we would be headed. I can give it my voice sample, and then I connect it to my, say, speaker or my audible, my dot, and then it plays out the story in my kid's room when I'm busy in a meeting. But then I can, virtually I'm there and I'm telling the story to my kid.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I would like to add one more thing is on the price point. Yeah, the text story is and image are not that like important, but we got a feedback that audio and video is like a really compelling way to pay for this product. The second thing is second feedback that we got is like interactive, right? So may not be like just wall of text, but if we can have like some more interaction. Okay, what happens next? The kid will decide, okay, do you want to go with Elsa or Superman? So at that time, having the more interactivity is what we are looking for to improve in this storytelling. And the third thing is, yeah, as I mentioned, like let's say this is the Christmas time, so 10 days we are telling the Christmas story up to the Santa Claus arrival. So every day we are building on top of this world. So that's also like one of the feedbacks that we got, that not just one day, but just keep on building this world with us every day. So that is like a second level feedback that we want to have or want to build in future.
Got it. Since your focus is more on making it more interactive, it'll be also great to kind of get some feedback on the app itself. Like, was this story good? How do you rate it? Or maybe, the kid can read that and then you can also kind of say that, hey, you're improving, you're making good progress as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Customer feedback is like at most important, and we haven't built that thing like a feedback loop currently, but we are thinking about like having like some kind of like just thumbs up, thumbs down feedback, or even like some more elaborate feedback that okay, I'm missing this thing, so add some more features. But yeah, you're right. Like we need to have like some more customer feedback from the in the app itself.
Yeah. Thank you. But good job done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I
All right,
think
we'll move to
it is
Yes.
still
Dev, sir.
generating.
Yeah. I
Your questions and feedback for the team.
Yes. First, I have three questions, and the first question is, how is it? Is it just from the working from the your model is working from the reading perspective, or is it in the background working as a learning for the end user or persona as a journey? I mean, is it a advancement of a learning for the target user? Or how you are planning, or how you have modeled in a way that it would work as a learning journey for the target persona?
That's a really good point. We haven't actually thought about how we are making users learn out of that, but it's like really good, not just entertaining. You mean like if we have like some stories which are like a moral-based stories, right? So those are kind of like a learning for the users or like a learning for the kids. Is it what you are
Yeah.
going towards? Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like if I am a user or I am a kid and I am using this product for 6 months. So over the
I see.
6 month period, what is my learning enhancement through this? It should be, I mean, reading plus also the learning. So that would ultimately give the higher value proposition and gap, which is also a gap in the industry, big gap, which would also work for you.
This is really great feedback because we only think about this as a entertainment, but education is like a really one of the very important part of it. We'll definitely look into this, like how we can see like some progress there, or how we can like every story can like at least give like some kind of moral or some kind of learning to the to the users. So definitely, sir, I will think through this lens as well. Thanks for this perspective.
That's an amazing angle, Kev. I'm
Yeah.
actually just reminded that I think Google launched recently Learn My Way, which is similar to where you're headed, I think.
Okay.
Like in terms of
I
instead of a textbook, like just
Yeah,
teaching concepts based on what I like.
right. And the second question is in terms of revenue model. You have the free tier and premium tier.
Yeah.
So even if you see for the Chat GPT and Gemini, which is costing something around $20 per month, something around that, little bit plus and minus. So you have also costed half price of that. Do you think that, I mean, even for the Chat GPT, Gemini, 80% or 90, I mean, mostly 99%, 95% user would be using the free version,
Right.
even
Right.
at the $20. If they are getting the complete product package in $20, why they would buy your product in just half of the price? I mean, they may also think as a user that
Yeah.
I will pay the double price of this and use complete premium version of Gemini or ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's a really good point. One thing that I would tell is like, yeah, so it's not just like a text. We also have like audio video thing attached to it. And for the target audience that we are looking for is like mainly the working busy professionals. Like spending like a $9 or like a $10 per month for their kids should not be, that much, because we are spending a lot on those tuition fees and other stuff, and people are like pretty open to spend for their kids. So that's the one of the reasons to have this price point. But we'll definitely look into how we can have like a really good balance with the value. Uh,
I'd
at this
like
point of,
to
yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah,
I'd
but
like to weigh in here. So, again, from my personal experience, because ChatGPT does not have any age-appropriate content being doled out, it will, like, if I give my phone to my kid and I ask her to, help take ChatGPT's help for homework or even for, concocting a story, my worry constantly will be that she is going to be exposed to anything and everything because ChatGPT does not have an age filter. This, however, does have an age filter, which means you as a parent don't have to worry about giving away this product to your kid and letting them also generate their own stories.
Okay.
Yeah, very good point.
So my view is that definitely good answer you have given about this. My view is that as initially you would be launching in India, Indian market is price sensitive.
I
So
see.
how
I see. Okay.
competitively you will position your product in a way that it would create a successful journey
I see.
initially as well and even over the period as well.
Yeah, very good feedback. Yeah, we'll
Okay. And
definitely.
third question is how are you planning because these are cloud cost and computing intensive.
Yes.
Okay. How are you planning in terms of the, for example, once it is scale, is the architecture of the product is considering all those factor dimension? I mean,
Yeah.
cost, cloud cost, and this
Yeah. So
computing optimization of
we
that so that now, I mean, architecture should be in a way that it is optimized, well optimized, so that over the period it would be well optimized from the costing or these three factors perspective.
yeah, definitely. We gave like a some thought about like how we can optimize those tokens, and we know we don't
And
need to go
these
to
challenges, these
yeah
challenges won't come initially, but as you scale
at the scale. Yeah, yeah.
10,000 user, 1 lakh user,
Yes.
then
Yeah.
definitely you would be facing that. So any thought process you have currently now for this?
Yes, yeah. So I'm sharing this architecture diagram, right? So as you see, there are like a finite number of preferences. So with that finite number of preferences, we can have like some stories already generated. So in order to, I mean, we can have like a smart logic that not all the time we need to go to Gemini or those LLMs to create a story. We already have like some story which are like created and saved it in our DB. If the story is not shared with one user, we can definitely share with the, if you have the same kind of parameters for the other users, we can just use that story for other users as well. So we can be like a more creative on how how often that we go to Gemini or like a LLM tools to create those things, and how we can have like some kind of like a already set of stories already created on the fly, which is like ready to serve. If it is falling into the same kind of preferences, you can just generate those stories from the DB and no need to go to the Gemini to create those stories. So we can optimize those things at our like a backend level to just see what are times that we need to go to LLMs, and what are the time we can serve those stories from our existing story kind of pool. So that is one way to save on the cost, or save on the at least the LLM cost in there, because Nano Banana and the audios are like very expensive. We already uh, uh, emptied our like 11 labs kind of like tokens, just trying it out yeah, in the afternoon. So, but yeah, we are aware of like something there, and we are thinking about like some steps to scale it further, keeping the cost in kind of like
Okay.
in control.
Okay. Good product idea and all the best for this
Thank you so
product
much,
journey.
and thanks for all the comments and feedbacks.
You. Thanks for the feedback.
Welcome.
Thank you, Julies. Aditya, if you have any questions, Aditya, you can drop it in the comment section. I think there the team will respond. Okay. So only Julies can ask questions here. All right. So now we'll go for the scores now from the juries. So first we'll start with Anuj sir. So your scores for the team out of 5?
So, Maharaj, my score would be 3 on 5.
3
And
out of 5.
I think mainly some of
Okay.
the disconnected insights was one of the reason. And I think also a clear differentiation because whether it is going and direction also, like whether we are going in the learning side and
I see.
different personas were also mentioned. So that was the reason for 3 on 5.
Got it. Right. Srini sir, your scores for the team
Uh,
out of 5?
yeah, I think the place where I really liked it was clarity of the problem statement, how they really represented it through the personas, kind of came up with MVP and all was really, really good. So these were
Yeah.
few good areas that I wanted to highlight. Few areas I felt like was something that they need to kind of think through is how you measure success, how you get feedback from these stories from the customers and then improve on it. Personalization was really good, but I think the continuity on the personalization was missing. So these were
Yes.
few areas that they could kind of consider. Overall, I
Yeah.
would definitely give 3.5 out of 5 for this infinite stories as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I say your scores for the team?
Yeah, and regarding the feedback, I already those feedback and the area I discussed in the itself, and my
Yeah.
overall this point would be 3.5 as well. 3.5.
Great. All right. Thank you. Audience, it's time for you now. Please take your smartphone and scan this QR code in front of your screen. You have 20 seconds to cast your votes for the team. Your time starts now. All right. Time's up. Let's move on. Great. Thank you, team. That's your audience poll. And wishing you all the best. We'll move to team two now. Rekha, Krishnamurthy, and Selvaraj. Team two, you guys ready?
Yeah, we are ready. Selva
Yeah.
will be sharing the screen.
Yeah. Give me.
Sorry,
Yes.
Maharajan, where do we see the results?
Sorry. What?
Sorry, where do we see the results of the poll? Is there a
Audience poll
place?
just now it was presented in the screen.
I missed it, I think. That's fine, I'll watch it at the recording.
Okay. All right. Okay, just give me a moment. Yes, Salva, you can go ahead now. So once your timer starts, once your introduction starts, your timer starts.
Rekha, can start.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So myself, Rekha, and Selva, we hold an expertise in BFSI sector, and we are here. We are here today to present our product idea. So next slide. Next slide. Yeah. So I would like everyone to look at the image carefully. So what you're seeing in the left is a regulatory authority like SEBI, RBI, or IRDAI, which is pumping out hundreds of regulatory updates every year. And then there is the compliance officer in the middle who's trying to bridge the path with different internal teams manually through email chains or spreadsheets with different internal teams like credit risk or operations or IT teams. So currently there are three critical risk gaps. So one is the delayed interpretation. It takes sometimes even weeks to accurately interpret and confirm what is the action that is needed to be taken by the different internal teams. And also there's no automated mapping of which internal policies or internal rule engines have to be updated in order to stay compliant with the external regulations. So it's all done manually through email chains and spreadsheets today. And also there's no risk visibility for the compliance team once they have told what actionable tasks needs to be done by the different internal teams, they lose visibility and because the tracking is all done manually until audit team validates it. So in the current manual and fragmented process, there is a high risk of non-compliance. So because of which there could be risk for the business, operational risk, and revenue risk for the business. So while this problem has been there for many years now, so we are coming up with our generative AI solution. Next slide. So we are a B2B SaaS platform. So we'll help navigate the entire compliance life cycle to three simple steps. So one, our Comply Journey AI solution will summarize the document, the dense PDF summary, dense PDF documents into simple English summaries. And also it will trigger what actionable tasks or what that needs to be done by the different internal teams and what is the impacted workflow. So it will trigger personalized actionable tasks to different internal teams. And also it will recommend which internal policies needs to be updated so that the human in the loop would review it and he would approve the internal policies. Next slide. So the key value proposition that we offer is that with this solution, compliance solution, we'll be able to accelerate speed and launch compliance-ready products and features faster, lower the cost because the dependence on FT, full-time executives or the external consultants will reduce, and that will lower the cost in turn. And also, of course, the risk reduction that is coming in terms of reputational risk or revenue risk or operational risk for the business. Next slide. So we have identified three key personas. So we are catering the solution to the small and mid-sized financial institutions. So we have identified three personas from the NBFC, fintech, and cooperative banks. So I'll just quickly walk you through the key pain points and the goals. So the key pain points is that today they are faced with heavy manual work compliance workload, and also they want a compliance solution that would accurately interpret what is the regulatory updates that is there. And the key goals is that they want a single view and also the cross-functional team alignment on various compliance tasks and a single view of what the compliance tasks that needs to be performed by different internal teams. And they also need quick English summaries of the dense regulatory complex updates. Next slide, please. Next. So, this product, this solution, AI solution helps meet the user's needs and their functional needs because it streamlines the entire compliance function. It meets their emotional needs because now they are more confident that they'll not be missing on any critical compliance deadline. And also it meets the user social needs, like it turns compliance from strategic firefighting to a more from firefighting to a more strategic, proactive function. Next slide. Next slide. So this is the business case that currently we are doing this manual interpretation, and we have these LLMs, so which can be fine-tuned to understand the semantics and the language of the regulatory updates. And once this is done, the outcome would be in terms of the speed and the accuracy. So we'll be able to also scale it up to the to more clients and lower the cost. Next slide. So the key assumptions are that this product is desirable because currently our premise is that small and mid-sized financial institutions lack this. They don't have an internal expertise for interpreting the RBI or the SEBI updates, and it's also viable because the cost of compliance outweighs the subscription cost. So that is creating a strong ROI proposition for us, and it's also feasible because we assume that we have sufficient labeled data to train our model. Next slide. Yeah. So now Selva will take over from you.
Thank you. Okay. So we built a small prototype to showcase our product idea, right? This application is a web-based application which has an UI where they can see the dashboard. Who's logged in, they can see the dashboard to see what are the different tasks open for them, the different circulars they create. And they also have the options to ingest some circulars and then process it. We also have options to understand the task and different tasks which the customer individual has to done it. So if the new circular comes in, we expect that, oh, you can ingest a circular. Probably I'll drag and drop a circular into this. Give me a minute. So let me take one circular and probably push it out
In your
here.
last 3 minutes.
Yeah. So we using Gemini as our processing agent, which will actually process the content based on the prompts you configured it, and it can summarize the circular and create some task for that. So yeah. So this circular has been processed. So it gives analysis that what has been changed in this document and who's impacted. And if there's a deadline, probably just gives a deadline which is to be input, right? And it can also create tasks for individuals based on the team we trying to configure in the system, right? Because every FIs will have different set of teams, and we can see how we configure this. So after this, they can get individual notifications. We integrate it to their system so that each task has been assigned into their Jira's or an event system, right? So they can do it. And they can also generate the complaints, also can generate some reports on how much is being done and like that. Yeah. So they can also see all the circulars that has been ingested till now, and they can also see what are the tasks for everyone been done. So after this prototype, probably what we wanted to experiment is that we want to probably I'll just back to the slide. So we have done a model because it's an enterprise solutions. We need to prototype and push it to FIs to really see how we can validate this one, right? We are trying to experiment that using the scoring because it's since legal words, we need to ensure that the legal terms will be perfect. This is one experiment we plan to do. Then the ingestion success rate is another experiment we plan to say, okay, how much data it can consume and how much accurate the data is being passed to it. So these are two experiments we plan to do in this project. And from a rollout perspective, what we thought is that since we start with this processing engine, we'll just process that ingested data, then try to integrate with in-app systems of the bank so that you can send it to the emails or in-app notifications. We also create a mobile app for them to receive these updates on audits, right? Then probably next is that to see how do we really get an UAT by users. So the key takeaways of what we are trying to do in this product is that how do we benefit the NBFCs and fintechs to compliance so that they can reduce the financial risk of the included by RBI. And this product
Team,
also.
sorry to interrupt. Your time is up. You can take additional 20 seconds and just summarize it.
This is my last slide, yeah. So we are doing a de-risking of values here where the compliance team can use these tools to process the information and track it in a right way. The last is that since we are tracking it, we're also trying to give suggestions that in the organization, what are the different components to be updated? They can also update and keep it in a common place. Yeah. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's a good one. All right. We'll go for the jury's Q&A. Srinisa, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Thanks, Selva and Rekha. I think the way you guys kind of narrated the story was really good. This is a big problem for B2B for sure, especially in NBFCs, banking and finance sector, and fintech as well by large. My question is, since there is a lot of confidence that's really required here from your models, how do you kind of make sure that the analysis and the action steps that you are providing to the human to take an action is much more thoughtfully done rather than what is coming from a Gemini or open AI kind of a tool? What is that value add that you're kind of adding on top of that? I'm not able to kind of get a head around it.
Okay.
If you can
Uh,
just help me understand that, that will be really helpful. Second, there's the competitive advantage of this versus other tool in the market. I'm not able to get a view there as well. If you can just give me some insights into that, that will be really helpful.
Yeah, I'll quickly address on the competition part. So this is an AI native solution. So I think other solutions that are there in the market are just bolting their AI into the existing legacy platforms of the financial institutions. But ours is an AI native solution. It's first of its kind that we have built this. So yeah. So Selva, you can take it up.
okay. So I'll answer the first question and I'll come back to the second one, Srini. But the first one, yes. So when you use tools, obviously they generates data, right? The action items, but we also need to train our product. That's why we are trying to differentiate ourselves. That we need to train our product to ensure that the actionable insights are accurate to the industry, not just an output coming out of Gemini. So we are going to put constraints on that to because of the domain experience we have it. So we are trying to put a constraints that what are the actual tasks we have to generate out of them. And from a component analysis, yes, there are a lot of industries, they're calling it red tech, they're working on these items. What we believe that we can differentiate ourselves is that the product which are trying to is done on specific markets. So we understand Indian market, probably we'll work on those Indian markets in a right way. And that's the only item I think so.
Got it. But the LLM models are something that you would have built on top of Gemini or whatever is existing available. The only goodness that you would provide is your domain knowledge where you're kind of coming in from, which kind of goes as an input to the LLM. And then you use that to kind of process all the data that you're kind of getting in. Is that a right understanding?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. One last question. How do you measure success for this compliance genie? What are your thoughts around that?
Okay. The success, what we are thought around is that if you're able to, because in the experience, we know that the compliance team will take at least 3 to 6 months to do a lot of auditing documentations for it, because it's more of documentation work. And we felt that using our generative tools and things, we're able to reduce the timeline of that by half. So
There are two things here. So one is, are we able to reduce the full-time executive hours that is spent on this, at least by say 75% reduction that in the interpretation time that is taken by these executives in interpreting these regulatory updates. And so that is one. So the hours that is saved by these full-time executives in interpreting. So that is one success measure that we will go ahead with.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Kaipsa, you want to go next?
Yes. Good product area. And as it is being related with the financial compliance and legal product area, so definitely accuracy is critical for this product. So wanted to know how are you maintaining at least 100% accuracy in this product, so that whoever B2B is using this product would be able to get the actual information or the KPI which they need to complete. Hello.
yes, I'm just.
And second question is, how are you making sure that it is doing the complete flow of this product, because showing it informative, and after that, what information is it providing? How is it making sure that whatever it is listing, that information or the critical areas, how is it getting completed and observed in the system so that it would show alert or notification to the internal user to complete.
Okay. So from an accuracy perspective, yes, the model has to be trained. Currently, it is not trained fully, so we need to train that model with a lot of data sets by giving to that and get the answers from it, right? So we have to train that, so we have to spend time on that. That's the only way we can ensure that this model can train in the right way, because we are trying to build it as a specific model for compliance. So we have to train this in a different data sets. So that we have to work on. From the second point of it, the notification, yes, the idea started as we just distribute the requirement into tasks for individuals, and once they're done it, probably we collate them and create a document which can become separate back to the compliance team later on. So those are two ways we are thinking of it, but it's not done in this product yet.
Okay. I mean, adding the complete flow, definitely it is initially it would be from the MVP perspective, and planning is from
Yes.
development and planning is from that perspective. But actual value proposition would be for the user from the perspective that it is having the complete flow of the product, so that the gap which it is meeting, it is completely entirely closing the flow for the user.
Yes.
Yeah, I am done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Queries.
Yeah. Anuj, sir, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Rekha, Silva, I think, as everyone said, very valid problem. I have two questions, and one of the key question I think both Kef and Srini has also covered. But apart from that, one main thing, because all these compliances to be checked, you will need to get access to the enterprise data, because these compliances cannot happen in isolation whether you are compliant or not. So it will need a lot of digging into the enterprise systems and enterprise integration. So have you given any thought to it, and how will you attack that? That is number one. And the number two is a lot of these RBI regulations which comes into play. A lot of these are not very proper PDFs and a Word document kind of documents. Some of these are scanned PDFs which might have images, have tables, and the document processing of the LLMs which we have right now is not very highly accurate. So a question again back to the accuracy front, how are you planning to so like, have you given to a thought of having this human plus AI kind of a coordination to achieve credibility here? Because that is the number one thing. If you give a wrong compliance yes or a wrong compliance no, both are very risky for the end customer. So two questions on that: one, enterprise data, how are you planning to handle? And second, accuracy or credibility of compliance with AI plus human, have you given a thought to it?
Okay. So I will answer the second question first, because that was the point we covered earlier also. Yes, humans should be there, because we cannot just believe on the complaints of data, generated data, right? So what we thought about the whole architecture is that everywhere it will be a human who validates that and understands it. So when you, even from a scanning perspective and submitting the documents to the system, we're supposed to do a proper OCR of the data. If it is just image capturing it, because they sign, they scan it, they push it off, or they can be an Excel file, HTML file, they upload it over there, we download it, do it. So we wanted to do some processing around that. Yes, human will be there in the middle of it to validate it if everything is being processed accurately. And we are expecting that accuracy can go up when based on the models we try to use it over there. Because if it is PDF, we'll be using a different models. If it is a Word, we can use a different model. So we plan to do that. And even from a final compliance perspective, once it generates it out, before submitting to the auditors, probably there'll be a human touch to validate it, whether it's been compliant or not in nature, right? So that's two parts of it. From an integration touch point, yes, even though we're thinking it as a SaaS-based one, definitely banks will not open up their information to us, right? So we also thinking that if the banks are not open up, probably we host this as a local hosting for them in a private cloud, where they can expose those functionalities to them, right? With a API interface or a DB information, they can pass us to us those information.
So you're saying the heavy lifting of integrating with your software will rely on the bank or the NBFC?
Probably as yes, we need to give the exposure phase for them to be as an implementation team, right? Banks, because banks are lazy to implement anything. So we may, as a product, we may say, okay, we integrate with your systems based on whether it is because we can expose multiple interface options to them to integrate to the system, either it's API data or they can just give us a folder access where they have all the documents, we can pass it out. So we do the heavy lifting for them also, but they just need to give the access to us.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Time for the
One
scores
more
now.
point here.
Yeah.
Wanted to know,
Yes.
as this is here, still the team haven't decided either it would be on-prem or the cloud one. So wanted to know how the privacy dimension they are handling here, because privacy, as these are the legal and compliance document for the organization, so definitely privacy would be the one of the most critical one here as well. So as LLM and these model, it may be very difficult or to handle that if you are using the SaaS or like that. How those dimension is getting covered here?
We'll be putting guardrails for it for this to ensure that the data is not going. But since in the banking domain, that these data will never be in the public cloud, right? So it cannot be, even though we are building these solutions as a SaaS offering, but when you're deploying that, it will be deployed on the bank's private clouds. They will not come out of it. So that's our value proposition to them also.
Okay, and one additional point of definitely it won't be that data won't be would be on the cloud, but the data which would be processed, the data which would be, I mean, interim data or the output data, would the privacy would be also for that data?
It should ideally, when you're since you're in the domain of this. But yeah,
Okay,
we
because
talk
here,
about how we secure that. Yes.
because input and output data, all the data need to be the privacy dimension as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for that. All right, we'll go for the scores now. Srini, sir, your scores for the team?
Yeah, just a quick comment on the score. I think Selva and Rekha, the problem that you guys are addressing is significant and has strong potential, no doubt there. But however, I strongly feel that the model approach needs little more further maturity, especially around the accuracy and reliability piece. And I also feel that the unique value proposition is not coming out very clearly enough, how you truly differentiate yourself with the other alternatives that's there. So that needs to be sharpened as well. My score would be around 3 out of 5. That's where I would settle.
Thank you, sir. Anuj, sir, your scores for the team?
So I think pretty much aligned with Srini on the feedback. I think overall the depth in the solution was lacking a bit. I think from a problem statement point of view, the problem is huge. The market is huge. I think even for NBFCs, there can be a lot of other use cases you could have think through, which does not need this much high accuracy or reliability to start with. So fair to be fair to the previous team as well, I think my score would be 2.5 on this one.
Okay, so your scores for the team?
Yeah, it's definitely this product idea is helping for the bigger gap in the industry, and great product idea as well. And it is not the B2C product, it is B2B product, product, and also the domain is also complex one. It is not the easier domain. So covering that in shorter span of time as a you can say practice and the training and this cohort based in shorter span of time, that needs more amount of effort, time, and those things. So considering those perspective, I would give as catering to the bigger gap in the industry, but definitely which needs more time, which is not feasible to get through the course itself, in the course duration itself. So I would give 4 point to this product.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Julius. All right, time for the audience poll now. Give me a second. Yes. So audience, please grab your phone and scan this QR code. Cast your votes for the team. You have 20 seconds. All right, time to move on. Thank you, team. That's your audience poll. Wishing you all the best. We'll move to team 3 now. Rajiv, you're ready?
Yep, ready.
Just give me a moment. Yes, Rajiv, you can go ahead. And once introduction starts, the time starts. All the best.
Okay. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes, it is presented.
All right, then. Let's go. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you for the opportunity. I'm Rajiv Nambiar. I'm based in Kochi, Kerala, and I've spent over a decade building products across very different industries. So I started in the energy sector, helping companies drill smarter. We built something like Google Maps for oil rigs, where we were pulling real-time drilling data and predicting risks and helping drillers make fast and confident decisions. So later I moved into the employee experience space where we were using AI to reduce HR and IT support tickets. And more recently, I've been scaling global HR and payroll systems across all these different domains. One truth stayed constant, like data is everywhere, but insights are hard to get. So let me tell a recent story. So I was speaking to one of my friend, and she's an HR business partner, and she was telling me that recently in her company there was a sudden spike in resignations, and leadership immediately were behind her, asking like what's happening and why are people leaving? Is it tied to a specific manager or department, or did this happen after a reorg they did like a couple of months ago? So all these questions were coming in, but she just had the dashboards, which the leadership also had. So she had the conventional reports, but they only told partially what happened, but they didn't know like why this was happening. So nobody could explain why. To get answers, she had to run deeper analysis, and usually HR folks, they are not that tech savvy, and they need to rely heavily on data analysts. And in her company, there was only one or two data analysts. And the same problem occurs for other verticals as well. Same for sales, finance, or operations, or in any other department will have the same problem where they need clarity from their data. Like sales would want to know why customers are churning. Similarly, HR would want to know why people are leaving the company. So just wanted to give some more context around the problem area. So the team spent close to 15 to 25 hours per month manually building the dashboards and analyzing spreadsheets. So that's close to 5 to 10K per month. If you have two, three people doing that. And also people are missing context on why. So because of this, some of the decisions needs to be revisited or corrected. Similarly, decisions are slow. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks when you should make decisions within hours or days. So basically, these delays are costing 5 to 10% of potential revenue. And this is basically the problem statement I want to highlight here. Now, talking about the users, we have HR teams, ops team, finance team, different teams facing the same problem. But I'll be focusing on the HR team, because hiring and attrition costs are massive, and people are companies' most critical asset. So losing people is incredibly expensive. Also, I had access to a lot of HR managers and got decent expertise in that area. So this is one of the reasons, like, I focused especially in HR. Now, why now, like, we are focusing on this problem? Mainly because earlier, like I said, you had to run SQL queries or you needed, like, an army of data analyst team. But that has now changed because you have generative AI. Now that allows you to combine, structured business data with natural language reasoning. So we can explain trends, surface risks, and also, like, recommend actions instantly. Sorry, getting a call, that's why. Yeah. So that's why, like, I thought about, like, Clarity OS, that's what I'm calling it. And it is a decision intelligence layer that turns raw data, in this case, it will be the HR data, into real answers. So this is basically now technically possible. So it's feasible. And when I spoke to the HR team, I understood that, like, there is a desirability factor as well. Now, mainly, like, we want to measure three, like, business outcomes with this product. First is insight velocity. So that is like the time from question to insight. So we need to collapse this from weeks to days, right? Or like hours. Now, my long-term plan is that this won't be just an insight velocity metric. This will turn into a decision velocity metric where we will be building co-pilots on top of this. So now, like, we surface insights. After this, like, a manager or an HR needs to take a decision on it. But the idea is, like, co-pilots can even take decisions and they just need to get the approval. So this will be my value proposition, and this is how we win, right, over the competitors. So this will become like, like something which you can completely automate. And finally, when it comes to cost avoidance, we want to surface risks before they escalate. So right now, like, everything is very reactive. Something happens and then, like, people just go behind that, right? We want to be going with a proactive approach where, like, the system will tell them that, hey, like, this person is going to resign next month, right? So you need to, like, do something about it. Similarly, like, insight accuracy, we want to build trust because all these insights are really important, like, in terms of decision making. So insight accuracy also will be really important here. So since I started with HR, I use Gen AI mega persona prompting, like what I learned from the course, to create synthetic data, survey data, and it was based on urgency, trust, goals, and decision patterns. And based on this, like, I identified like four behavioral attributes within the HR so that I can focus on, like, one specific group. So in this specific group, like, again, from the cluster, I got that risk averse will be the group which I can focus first. This is mainly because they had high urgency score, as well as they were really okay in trying out AI and they had good trust on AI. So this is why, like, I focused on this behavioral aspect, right? Now, the MVP assumption is simple. Like, if we surface insights with clear explanations, users will act and benefit from it, right? Like, so this will basically, like, reduce their time to get answers and they can take meaningful decisions. And we have also seen that users interact a lot, like, conversationally. Like, generally, it's a pattern. You use Gemini, you use ChatGPT. So in my product, like, I'm trying to bring in, like, that chat interface, so that I feel that, like, this will be, like, more intuitive, and people will think more closer to, like, how they are, like, using an AI application today. So I've also, like, done, like, a cost benefit analysis. So based on, like, the analysis that this is a viable idea as well, because of attrition and, like, backfilling roles or even over hiring people, they lose a lot of money, right? And if manually, like, they are trying to generate these insights, there are a lot of operational cost also behind it. So from that point of view, a company is losing a lot of money. So if we can, like, help them to generate these insights and make it proactive, then I think, like, this will definitely, like, save them a lot of money and generate them a lot of return on investment if they adopt this product. So
Rajiv, you have the last 3 minutes.
yeah, sure. So how the Gen AI product prototype works. So mainly, I just wanted to tell you, like, how this works. So you can bring your own data right now. You can upload in Excel. Then the AI will automatically generate trend, and then you can chat with the data. So if you see this, this is like the prototype, what I've done. So you can click on generate report, and then it'll ask you to drop the data set, right? So I've just started with Excel. This is for validation, and later on you can connect with multiple data sets, right? And you can upload a data set and then click generate report. So then this will generate something like this. I think it'll take couple more seconds, so that's why I'm going to the screen. Yeah, so anyway generated. So it'll give you an executive summary of like the data what you have given, right? So it'll give you like the report has 300 employees data. It gives you all the details about like the data what you have uploaded. And here, as you can see, it has like major insights about this data automatically calculated. So this is something they can configure. So whenever they upload the people data, they can say that these are the insights they want, right? And automatically this will generate these insights. Now, if I want to edit something, I can edit and update the prompt. If I want, I can change this to performance rating distribution. Then based on this, it will automatically calculate and show me the performance rating distribution. If I want to add a new question, I can add that new question here. And also, like, this is a conventional report they have built, but in case if they want to go deeper, they can always chat with the data. So for example, I can ask them something like this. Employees who are at risk of resigning based on the survey data, right? This is based on the survey feedback as well as like some of the high performers who are at the risk of leaving. So it gives me like there are like there are employees with performance rating 4 or 5 who has very poor feedback. So these employees are at the risk of leaving, and you can ask follow-up questions like give me the list. Yeah, so it'll give you the names as well as like the departments, right? So this is actually like what we have done. And in terms of ethical considerations, something like which we need to do is that we need to focus on data privacy as well as ensuring this model is not hallucinating and giving wrong information, right? So these are like the major ethical considerations what I would look at. And in terms of the roadmap, the main thing I want to focus on is like to onboard the other types of HR folks, like apart from
Rajiv, sorry to interrupt. Your time is up.
Yeah.
You can take additional 20 seconds to
Yeah,
summarize
sure.
it.
Yeah. So next I want to build a scalable data processing engine, because this is just like Excel upload. So I want to move away from that, like, and bring in like multiple data. And then also like, ensure that there is good accuracy. And finally, like I want to move into a Copilot system. And the conclusion is that this is definitely going to help users, like especially the HR folks, to make decisions faster and cut a lot of like, time, effort, and cost. So yeah, so basically this is what I wanted to present. Thank you so much for listening. And one particular ask what I wanted to, like, in terms of this presentation also to the jury was you've all seen like AI adoption at scale, and I'd like to hear your advice on what builds trust in AI systems early, especially when product is influencing these business decisions, right? So just wanted to add that point as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you. All right. Kaipsa, you want to go first? Kaipsa, you're there?
Mute.
All right. Anuj, you want to go first? Question and answers.
Yeah, sure. So, Rajiv, I think overall, good presentation. Things which I really liked is picking very sharp use cases. Like even within the analytics, like picking the HR use case and then also picking around employees, all of that. Um, Two questions mainly I had. One, what do you think is the most challenging thing in this whole, like while you were building the product or prototype for this? What did you encounter as the biggest challenge? That is one.
Yeah.
The second question I have is, whatever you showed in the prototype, like what I couldn't relate more to is you picked the person of HR, but the solution seemed generic enough. So was there anything HR specific insight which was baked into product, like which is very specific to HR analytics in some ways?
Yeah, good question. Thank you. So the first thing is like one challenge what I faced is around calculation aspect, right? So this is one thing I have always noticed, that if you give a lot of data to AI, sometime like, it will tell you that like the average is like 3.5. Maybe the average is not 3.5, it's like 3.8, right? So this is one challenge I have seen, like with AI, when it processes like large amount of data, it sounds very convincing sometimes, but then actually when you do the math, it's not accurate. So this is one problem, like, in scalable engine I want to solve. Maybe AI should not be doing the math. Instead, like the code should be doing the math, and like AI should only be interpreting, like, the trend and insights based on that, right? So that's like, the one challenge what I've seen. In terms of like, the use case, I have like, shown, I have uploaded basically the people data, right? Like that's what I've shown in the demo, and I've asked about resignation. So what I've done is that I've tried to pull in data from like, multiple sources. So today, how it works in the HR domain is that every company, they will be using multiple systems. So for example, for hiring, they might use something like Greenhouse, right? A different ATS system. Then they might have an HR platform. Then for performance, they might be using something else. And for engagement survey, they might be using something else. So all these platforms are like, different. They are not talking to each other. So the idea is like, to bring in all the data and sit on top of that as a more like an experience layer, right? So yeah, so in the example also, what I showed you is that I was trying to predict like who are the employees that's most likely to resign. Now, this prediction is made based on the survey data as well as the performance scores, right? So these are high performing employees, but based on their last 2-3 survey data, like they were saying that they were giving like low NPS score, or they were like, complaining about few things. So we tried to correlate these different things, and like based on that, we are making the prediction.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Rajiv.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mutsa. Srinisa, you want to go next?
Yeah, I can go next. Can you hear me? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we can hear.
Rajiv, very nice presentation, but couple of questions and just a follow-up to what Anuj also was highlighting. I think the Clarity OS is where one of the use case could be HR attrition analysis or something. It could be also applying to other use cases that we can think through.
Yeah.
But on the HR piece, I think what you kind of highlighted that, based on AES scores and what other data that you have, there's a lot of privacy concerns that would kind of come
Yeah.
in, because AES typically is anonymous, all that. So how do
Yeah.
you address those privacy concerns? That's number one.
Yeah.
Second, see, I think the need of the hour is to kind of get a real-time insight, not post facto, like whether the person will move out or after the resignation is tendered, all that. Can I get some feedback early on whether the employee is going to leave or whether the customer is going to move away from my ecosystem, something like that? Is that something that I could get early on? That I couldn't find it in your presentation. And
Yeah.
finally, one last thing that I wanted to also ask is, how do you distinguish between signal and noise? Because these are all feedback that you get. There might be a lot of noise as well. What has been your value add there, especially around the Clarity OS? How you are going to differentiate that?
Yeah. So sorry, like, the first question, like, can you repeat that like one more time?
Yeah, the first question is, this is one of the examples around HR.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could also scale up to other areas as well, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that's
And how
correct.
do you protect that privacy piece?
Yeah. So in terms of privacy piece, like this is something which, if you like in my roadmap, like in the next 3 months itself, I wanted to solve the PII information, because it's like you said, it's very important that we don't send these, personal information even to AI, right? Like that's like one of the important pieces. So we have to mask that. Like one way of doing that, what I think is that you can use aliases, like, instead of sending AI that my name is Rajiv, instead that, AI can like, use a ID or a code, right? And when you get the results back, like then in the system, I'll know that this is the employee. So this is how I thought, like, we could solve that. And you're absolutely right that even I said that this is a problem that's happening for multiple teams within a company. Like, for example, now in Salesforce, I think probably you'll be solving the problem why customers are churning, right? So it's similar to that, but I wanted to like, focus on one persona first, right? Rather than going after like so many different personas, right? So I can like, be best at like, one, then, probably I can expand. And HR is something like which I can relate. And I think in terms of competition also, I don't feel there are like major players like, doing this. But in other areas, like, there are like, good major players. And I feel that the data, like I initially said, it's very much fragmented. Like there are multiple systems out there used by like one company, right? Like when it comes to the people data. So I feel that like somehow if we can like consolidate that, that will bring a lot of value in the industry itself. So this is what I was trying to solve, and that's what my thought process was.
Got it. One last thing around the signal and noise, like, the
Yeah,
data can also have a lot of noise in it. Are you putting any value add there, kind of filtering that out?
Yeah, that's a good question. To be honest, like I've not thought about it, like the specific aspect what you mentioned me like about the noise. I think this is something like which definitely we'll have to think about. Like first, I think we need to like evaluate what all noise or like what all outliers can come in, like in terms of the insights what I'm giving, right? And then I think we should take that sort of an approach, like how we can eliminate it. So I think that'll be the important puzzle to solve first.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Kaifa, you want to go next?
Good product idea. And I have few questions, three questions. First question is for this kind of the product, one of the major obstacle is, which is also raised by the Srini as well. It is a part of that garbage in, garbage out. So
Okay.
how this system is keeping tab on that to control so that garbage in would be restricted so that garbage out won't come. Second
Yeah.
question is for this kind of system, data lake or analytical system. When we are building this kind of the product, for the organization, so definitely you being the product expert there, but the challenge would be that other people who are working in the system, they are not the product expert, they are domain expert. But sometimes also it happens their domain expertise is not giving the actual, or you can say perfect KPI in their domain and function itself, which would be impacting the business or which would be impacting the growth of the organization. So how would you handle that? How are you handling that so that it should show the KPI which is really impacting the business of the organization or impacting the growth of the organization positively?
Yeah.
Third question is, you have mentioned manually you are uploading the data
For
currently.
the prototype. Yeah.
So is it just for the MVP or down the line?
Yeah.
It is
Oh, no,
also
only for the MVP. Yeah.
okay, because and how are you handling manual intervention there with the data and the file? I mean, there is two sides. This kind of the system, which is data lake or data warehouse, or these kind of the big analytical system, AI and analytical system, can't be 100% automated, can't be 100% manual. So you would need to take the some hybrid of that. So how would you balance the automated data pipeline plus manual data pipeline?
Yeah.
So, and through the fourth question is, through the manual data pipeline, how would you make sure that data is not manipulated? Because in the organization, every function and department want to show their KPI in a best way. We need raw data, real data, which should manipulate and give the real picture. Not the it shouldn't take the manipulated data to favor any function or department. It should take the real and actual data so that it would give the real picture for the organization, and so that respective action can be taken for the growth or the growing the business. Yeah, these are the four questions.
Okay, thank you, sir. So in terms of like the first question, I think it was about garbage in,
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. So I think like I mentioned, we need to like identify like what exactly are like coming in as garbage and going out as garbage, right? So one thing I can think of is like we can ensure there is correctness to the data by like checking if all the rows are like having proper data, like in terms of like when I'm sending the employee information, every employee like rows are like having proper information, right? Like if something is missing, then we can like go and check why some informations are missing. That's like one way I can think of, like, we can do this outliers. And in terms of accuracy, like I'm thinking of adding something called accuracy score, right? Like that's the second thing. We'll be adding accuracy score to detect like whether how the AI is performing. And I feel that, like, when we are doing the validation, we can check with the teams as well, right? Like, how is it, like, faring? If whatever, like, results it's showing, like when you are giving the data, like is it accurate enough, right? Because end of the day, like what we are doing with this product is like we are getting data from like multiple other sources, right? So that the data cleanness depends on, like, those tools, I would say. Like it won't be like, it won't be on this tool to make sure that the data is correct. We would expect, like, there will be a minimum expectation of that the data is correct when it reaches this tool, right? All we can check is, like, whether the some of the informations are missing, or like it's not sending like the information we want to calculate those insights, right?
Actually, just want to add the point here.
Okay.
Actually, when you are making this product for the Indian market or
Mm.
even for the global player, if it is catering to the SMB, so in that the respective people in the respective department are not tech savvy. So definitely they are using the traditional way to have the data, and they so that how your system would make perfectize this. I mean, they don't have the visionary thought process to get the KPI which would impact currently or down the line. I mean, there may be 50% chances you will get that relevant KPI, relevant critical KPI from them. 50% chance you won't get. You being the product expert, how would you think, how that scenario would you handle? That would also come across for this
Yeah.
kind of the product development.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking of is, like, as we are validating this MVP, like what we can do is that we can sit with the HR team and identify like what are the key
And
key.
here my question was across the department. HR is one of that.
Yeah.
HR, finance, manufacturing, inventory, multiple function. Every non-tech department or non-IT department or non-product department may have that kind of the traditional way of running the business.
Yeah. So in this, sir, like I was specifically focusing on HR, like initially.
Yeah, HR.
Yeah.
We can answer from the HR perspective.
Okay. So what I was thinking is that, like, we can sit with the HR to identify like different companies and identify what are the key insights, like, they require, right? And based on that, we can say that, like, this is the minimum, like these are the like minimum information we require, like, to generate those insights. So we will create like templates. So whenever you upload like a data, they say that I want like, A, B, C, D, right? So we will already have a template ready for that, but there will be some prerequisite to get that information. So I would say that, like, whenever we are initially doing this, we can set that and we can tell them that these are the information we require, and we can, like, work with them initially to ensure that that information is being conveyed or sent to, like, our platform, so that they understand, like, this is the minimum information we require from these platforms. So we teach them, and then we collect that, and we set the pipeline, right? Then it's automated. So this is one way I think, like, we can probably solve that problem. And in terms of domain expert also, I feel the same thing, right? My idea was to like create those key templates based on data, like what are the important information, like, they would require, like in terms of they want to know, like, did they overhire, or like, are employees leaving from a specific manager, or who is most likely to resign, like, the next month. So there might be like key insights like this. So working with like different HR folks, we can create this template, and like we can keep that as default for everyone to use. Now if they want to create something else, they will have the flexibility to go ahead and create their own template as well. So we give something, like, to start with, to begin with, but then they can always, like, do something, by their own side, like if they have the expertise, right?
Correct. Data pipeline. Third was the data pipeline versus to avoid, I mean, hybrid of balance of the automated data pipeline plus manual data pipeline.
Yeah, so I think that's a good question, sir. So in terms of manual option, I think we can keep that manual option there, because initially, since this is the MVP, I just wanted to like validate it. That's why I gave the Excel option, the CSV option, because like else we'll have to do like complex integrations. I feel that if there is a data lake like Snowflake or something, then they should be able to like pull in from Snowflake, and we can get in the tables and get the accurate information, right? And we can keep that pipeline. But since like we are giving this product to the teams, they upload whatever Excel they want to upload, right? So I think in terms of manipulation, it will be very hard to know if they upload an Excel and if they like get some insights. We can always keep audit, and if they come back and ask us, we can go ahead and like check the audit and say that, hey, this was the data like uploaded by them at like this stage, that's why we gave insights like this, right? But we would not know, like the AI or the product would not know the data within the Excel they uploaded is manipulated, whether it's manipulated or not, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rajiv. We'll go for the scores now. Anand, sir, your scores for Rajiv.
Uh, so my score would be 3.5. I think overall, from a problem clarity, depth in problem, that was good. I think from a solutioning perspective, I think things could have been slightly better. I think a lot of answers which Rajiv you mentioned, based on the follow-ups, I think those were also showed like good insights and good understanding of the problem statement. I think prototype could have been slightly better in terms of HR specific, and also integrating with some HR softwares, and maybe you could have covered a bit on GTM. So maybe because of the lack of time that couldn't be covered, but that is my overall feedback. So my overall rating would be 3.5, Mahajan.
Thank you, sir.
Srini, sir, your scores for the Rajiv.
Yeah, I think Rajiv, good job today. Strong problem choice and good intent. I think focus on having clear differentiation. I think that would really
Okay.
help. Do stronger validation, also kind of make a case a little more better. My score would be around 3, a 3 out of 5.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Kaif, sir, your scores.
Yeah, definitely it is a good product idea, and most of SMB is facing these kind of the challenges. They need to move out from the traditional to the automated way by this kind of the system, by which they can get the data or insight in a single fingertip. Okay, so I discussed most of the point during the queries as well, and overall feedback would be 3.5.
Thank you, sir.
Cool. Thank you, sir. All right. Rajiv, you can stop presenting now. Rajiv, you can stop presenting. Yeah, thank you. We'll go for the audience poll now. Give me a minute. Yeah. So audience, please grab your smartphone and use this QR code and cast your votes for Rajiv. You have 20 seconds. All right, time's up. Let's move on.
Yeah, Maharajan.
Yes, sir.
Just one more point I want to add to.
Okay, sir. Let's finish this audience poll.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's your audience poll, Rajiv. All the best. Sir, you want to add something to
Yeah,
Rajiv?
always they should try to work in a team with the team, because these kind of the project is not feasible by a single person. At least 2-3 people should be working. So definitely, if he has used added one or two people more, then it might have been he might have completed the more on this part.
Noted, sir. Thank you. We'll definitely take that. Thank you, sir. 1 minute, sir. Give me a second. All right, next team is going to be Pooja. Pooja, you ready?
Yes.
Am I audible? Yeah, okay. You ready?
Yeah, I'm
Good.
ready. Yeah.
All right, all right. So give me a moment. Yes, Pooja, I have given the permission now. So you can go ahead. Once your introduction starts, your timer starts. All the best.
Oh, can I start or?
Yes, Pooja, it is presented. You can start now.
Okay. Um, Thank you everyone for giving me this chance to present myself. Before I would like to start with my product idea, I would like to give a brief introduction about myself. Currently, I'm working with Talman Consulting Services, which is my co-founded company. After 18 years of my experience in content design and development, I'm primarily helping B2B companies maximize the impact of learning. Learning has always been my passion, and I've been exploring and experimenting with it. As a result, I have done 15 plus certifications in L&D itself in past 3 years, where I have also worked with 100 plus B2B companies and have contributed to 250 plus L&D projects. I have worn multiple hats as a writer, trainer, facilitator, anchor, researcher, moderator. I'm an explorer, like I said, and that's how when I got an opportunity to understand I was fascinated by it, and I wanted to. First time I got a chance to create something not just in my head, but in reality, by just using prompting, some using English, which is my primary language. So these are some of the institutes that I have, worked with to learn AI as well as L&D, and these are some of the clients I've worked with as an L&D professional. So now my journey, you might be looking at the product today, but my journey actually started in 2022 when I had a question. I had my own challenge where I was not able to find the right person for the right job for my own enterprise also that I wanted to start and for the companies I worked for. So I used to think it was just my challenge, or is it also the challenge with many companies? And that's where I began researching in 2022 for my doctorate program. And then over the time, I realized that small companies, small and medium enterprises, they are not able to find the right people. They are also facing challenges of retention. And when I studied competency based model, I realized the solution was already there. And I used to think that the reason why companies are not adopting is mere, they are not ready for it or they are resisting. But then when I did the math, I realized that it was not pure resistance, and actually, competency based model was nearly impossible for these companies to adopt. So I worked with large enterprises on competency mapping projects, and I realized that as an alternative, it is like something that you end up uh, investing around 60 to 90 lakh in large enterprises. It's a very time consuming job and very resource intensive. So organizations have a team of 50 FTEs to be able to complete this with automation supporting them. Now, with this as an equation, an SME cannot really use this idea. So that's where I thought of coming up with a new idea and I started doing my research. Over 2, 3 years, I was able to gather data, understand, even do experiments, and that's how I came up with this GenAI product idea. This product is a SaaS-based platform that can actually reduce the cost for SMEs by 1/6 of what large enterprises are already working with. It will reduce resources by 1/4. So instead of using 20 FTEs, you might be able to work it out within 5 FTEs. My key value proposition is that it is a enterprise grade talent development intelligence that is going to come at an SME cost with speed. This is a product architecture. Now, my actual module that I have planned is 7 modules, but I'm just for the prototype for the MVP, I'm using 3 modules. Module 1 is competency mapping, where you identify different competencies required at different roles. using AI. The data is then fed to module 2. In module 2, you map these competencies with employees and analyze the profiles of each and every employee in the company to generate a skill gap matrix. The data goes to module 3, which is a learning intervention designer. In this, based on the data collected from the module 2, the AI will generate learning leads analysis questions that will be answered by managers. And according to that, the cohorts will be assigned and the training program will be designed and delivered. On the right is shown an architecture. This is the way I'm using it. For every step, I'm using user validation and approval point. So any data that is generated by AI will not directly go as an output. It has to be approved by a user. From module 1 to module 2, from module 2 to module 3, the data will flow in the sequence just like the company's work. It's the real workflow that is used by companies, and I'm following the same workflow. Later on, I will be adding the integration layer so that their current LMS or current HRMS can be used to connect the data and directly gather the data for module 1. Right now, in my POC, it is completely manual, and companies have to either feed the data manually one by one, or they can upload the data in a bulk format. So for market segmentation, I tried to research and I found out that companies between 200 to 500 employees are my right target market. These are B2B organizations that I would say are around 3 lakhs in India, considering the size that I am catering to. And I use the data from MSME, IBEF, and data.gov websites. Then I filtered on service organizations because they require reskilling urgently in coming years, like IT, BFSI, healthcare, and consulting. Among these, I realized that 51% of the Indian startups that are in that category are requiring 20% skilled employee growth in medium sizes firms. And when I filtered down to metro cities, I found that there are 10,000 companies that I can cater to. So this is my TG. And if I talk about specific target persona, it will be an HR head working for an IT company with 200 employees. And the biggest pain point of this person would be that they are spending training cost, but they are unable to verify if the training is actually giving them results in terms of performance. So for this, if I could think of the behavior statement, this is an actual thing that happens in a company. In my experience, a person says, an HR head says that he knows a person who's from pre-sales, the good presenter, but he struggles to modify his scripts when talking to the customer and to justify business impact. When I do the training, the output should change into a next level, which says that now he's good at adjusting the messages, taking verbal cues from stakeholders, and being strategic. Now, it is
Pooja,
currently
last 3 minutes.
okay. So currently, the market is working with numbers, which is why these behavior statements are not coming out, and that's exactly why what my solution is going to do. So to validate this solution, I created 312 personas, and using AI, I discovered that people are not able to present CFO grade ROI evidence, and they also fail to operationalize competency based on the performance. So my justified target market is again 200 to 500 employee SMEs located in metro cities in India from IT and consulting sector. They want to justify their ROI. Key assumptions are that SMEs will be able to adopt it if the cost and efforts are reduced, and the AI generated output can match an actual output that could come from experts with moderation by experts. So which is why I want to do the feasibility experiments. Partially, I have already done it with several organizations on the conceptual level itself. Now, these are the core features of my app. AI generated role competencies, behavior indicators, based on which and competency matrix is created. Employees are assigned the roles based on which this matrix is further analyzed, and a learning intervention is designed. To show you a demo, I have created this video. So first we add a role. We can add multiple roles, and instead of adding it from scratch, I have already added the database that will throw suggestions based on what your job family is. You select a job family and you select a role. it also allows generation of specific roles. So once the role is created, AI will generate competencies. These competencies will be technical, and there will be around 6 competencies generated. With every competency that is generated, managers will be able to select their desired level for each competency for each role. There will be behavior competencies, and they can also shift competency type from behavior to functional or functional to technical if AI is not doing a good job. There will be a manual intervention in that case. And management competencies, once these competencies are finalized and their behavior statements are selected, now when they hover over the level, the behavior statements are shown. That is why it's easy for them to select. And once that is done, you select the desired levels, then you add employees. Employees are added based on roles. The competencies are automatically attached with the employee based on the role. Then the manager will select the actual level of competency of that individual in that particular area. Now this, once all the competencies are selected, a matrix is generated. So far this is done in most of the organizations still manually. My app will also allow them to do extra profile analysis beyond competency matrix with gaps. So when you do customized profile analysis, that means you can analyze the person on the basis of anything, whether it's culture, whether it's an assessment that you have designed. The AI will throw a very detailed analysis, not just a number. So that will be a review gap
Pooja,
analysis
sorry
that.
to interrupt. Your time is up. Sorry to stop you. You can take additional 20 seconds. Just summarize things.
Okay. So yeah, so once the analysis is done, then LNA questionnaire is generated, again filled by L&D professionals based on which the cohorts are designed and employees are assigned. So this is my prototype, and my future is that I'm going to expand this with 7 modules in total, and I'm also integrated with HRMS and LMS for taking care of ethical things. I'm keeping the human in loop. There is no auto generation without permission, and there is a subdomain based multi-tenancy to ensure the privacy is taken care of. So I look forward to finding an opportunity to grow this product, and currently I'm working on finding the funds so that I can develop it to the level that I'm showing it to. Its partial POC is ready, which I have only created in last 1 year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you. We'll go for the jury's Q&A feedback. Srinisa, you want to go first?
Yeah, I hope you can hear me. So thanks, Pooja.
Yeah.
Thanks for walking us through it. I think good problem space that you kind of narrowed down. I think the target segment is also pretty solid. All the large enterprises would have their own L&D platforms that's in-house done. So I think selecting that 200 employee kind of a sweet spot is amazing. I would love to know more about it. Like, do you have any customers today that has signed up? Because I know that your product is already there in the market. That's what you said. Is there a customer today who's paying for this service today?
No, actually, my POC is created. The product is not yet it's not in the shippable stage. It's like in the demo stage. I can show you, but I cannot deliver it. For that, I require a level of development that I'm personally not able to do. So I had actually hired developers but they were also not able to do. So I am finding it myself like very challenging to find the right people for myself, and the same problem I'm trying to solve also. So
Yeah.
that's where I am currently.
Got it. One question on the personalization, because most of these core competencies that you kind of highlight, there might be gaps, and the managers would like to kind of have a personalized plan for each of those employees. How do you plan to address that? Is that something that you're factoring in your prototypes as well?
Yes, so actually I am using a data from Career Architect Planner and ONET. They have more than 800 job descriptions ready, and these are not at the level of general job description. They are identify individual competencies, skills, gaps, everything. So that data will be a support data that will be provided to the customer, and we are planning to do some presets in every major job family. So for example, HR is a common thing which is available in every company. Those kind of competencies data will already be there. So companies will be able to directly use that And then on top of it, when they are actually working on specific competencies and editing it, it will become easier for them. So I'm using a combination of user data, AI data, and the data that's already developed and available with the market.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anuj, sir, your questions and feedback.
Sure. Hey Pooja, I think overall an interesting space to look at, the learning and development. One question I have on the overall problem space itself, like, uh, do you have any numbers on what is typically like the L&D budget of these companies? And my sense is typically, as Srini was also saying, larger enterprises typically have a good L&D department, but in that spot of 200 to 500 employees kind of org, what is your sense, like what is the L&D budget as a percentage of the overall cost?
Yeah, so I have identified the cost parameter, even the cost of generation and everything, and I'm going to offer it in the bracket of 6 lakh to 10 lakh annual. I
No,
already
Pooja,
know
the
products that
question
are used by
the question
uh,
I'm asking is, currently in the cost structure of an enterprise, let's say, which has 500 employees, how much would they be spending on L&D of the existing employees? Do you know about that number?
Yeah, currently small companies are not doing L&D at all. Most of them are not doing. Large enterprises are spending nearly 50 lakhs for the entire workflow. If I have to take care of the entire L&D cycle, that's the cost that they are bearing right now. But these are companies above 500 employees. Companies below 500 employees do not even have an option, because all the competitors that are offering similar solutions like Workday, iMocha, or Skill Caravan, they are offering to companies if they have minimum 500 employees. So I'm not touching that competitor arena.
And why do
I'm
you think,
going to
Pooja,
play in a
no?
different zone.
Why do you think, Pooja, right now there is no player trying to serve that cohort?
Yeah. So right now, the problem that I'm trying to solve, they are trying to solve it for large companies. I'm trying to do it for SMEs, and there is no other player who's exactly offering the same thing for same company. So right
Any
now, it's
any
like
any
first mover.
insight on why do you think nobody else has tried to capture this market, or even the
Yeah.
existing companies, maybe why they haven't launched a light version or something to cater to this? Is it
Yes.
more because the customers don't realize the value of this, or they are not even trying to invest in this, or is it just not wasn't like nobody just discovered this problem? What is your sense?
Yeah, so I'll tell you frankly, because I've spoken to investors, and they said, okay, your product idea is very disruptive, it's very good, but I'm going to give you funds only if you cater to large organizations. So you're not going to get the funds for this kind of work for SMEs. So most of the companies will avoid it, and they will try to go into an arena where funding is easier to get. For me, it's like I've worked throughout my career mostly with SMEs, so I understand their pain points by getting insight. So I even know how they use Excel sheet. I've even helped them work on Excel sheet. I have trained them how to use Excel, how to create dashboards. So the pain point that I understand, it's still a personal level, even my own challenge. But I am sure that companies will come up with such an idea after
Sure.
AI, and it will be a possible thing, maybe in near future. So I wanted to be the first one to go into that.
Okay. And the second question I had was, so let's say you will help identify where the skill gaps exist, and now you will not help plan the training. That is something which is done by the HR team. Is that a fair
That
understanding?
is also included in the
Okay, so
last
you will
module that
plan.
I mentioned.
Okay. So
That is
now let's
nobody is
say
doing that.
after, so let's say after you train the employee, how will you justify, like you mentioned about like a CFO grade ROI? Now, what is your like approach to reach at a CFO grade ROI for whatever skill development training plan you produced, and then the people were trained, and then was it really business impacting or not? What is your, how are you planning to
Yeah.
reach there?
So what I did, I did certifications on ROI for L&D, and I also used Kirkpatrick model to actually experiment it with two IT companies. I was able to show them the real results in a comparative study of when I was not using L&D approach and when I was using L&D approach. That was also part of my doctorate. And I was actually able to show them the statistics, the business impact, and that's why I became so obsessed with this idea. This actually works. And many trainers even today tell me when I talk to them that behavior is not something that we can measure. And I showed them that it can be measured and you can prove the behavior has changed. So I have conducted behavior change workshops as well as skill development workshops. And for two SMEs, it has proven. I would like to experiment with my product more and go to more companies. But in my experience, I have already seen the results.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Thank you, Pooja. Over to you, Kev.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, great product idea, and definitely it has a huge gap in the industry. Huge gap in the industry, and also as you are catering to SME, having the employee count from 200 to 500 or something like that, they have the critical challenge that they want to retain the employee and
Yes.
also upgrade. They have the minimal resources whom they want to utilize in the perfect way and to keep them in the longer way. So these kind of the system will help organization itself and also employee as well. uh,
Yes.
I'm sure. I think either it should have been impact should have been or planning and impact of this should have been attached with the project pipeline.
Mhm.
Second pillar is technology advantage. You have
Yes.
seen Gen AI emergence. There is so much firing in the industry. But if through this kind of learning planning, organization would be able to plan and upgrade the skill of their employee, they would be able to utilize the employee instead of firing.
Yes.
So, which would be a win-win situation for both employee and organization as well. And third is, I is it linked with the appraisal system as well? Impact of this is, if it is, then it would be great helpful. I mean, it would give the bigger value proposition to the organization as well. Said that, I mean, employee is definitely one of the motivation factor for employees appraisal. The impact of
Yes.
this is if getting reflected at the appraisal, definitely, I mean, all these three factors would work in the positive direction.
Yeah, so that's exactly what is my suit expansion plan, the KRA module. It's an OKR system that I've already experienced in the organizations that I've worked with, where the all these trainings are also attached, but they're all manual. They are not through a system. So for that also, I have a rough cut idea as well as a prototype ready for remaining modules as well, but they are not at the level at which these three modules are created. So I'm yet to create it, but yeah, I've thought of that as well, the appraisal connection, as well as the thing that these training programs are actually going to create an impact and visibility. So that's why I have also thought of individual development plan will be a complete different module that will combine all the data from all the modules into a very transparent structure that will help both companies as well as employees.
And definitely, Anuj was asking the question how much percentage organization is allocating for learning and development. Definitely, for SME,
Mhm.
you have some numbers, and also for the
Yeah.
large enterprise. Initially, you can start with the SME, but down the line, it would also help to the large enterprises as well. I
Yes.
have worked in the past with large enterprises. One of the, I mean, they have the throughout the, I mean, entire year calendar for the learning.
Yes.
And I observed that the learning calendar in that organization, which is having a 2 lakh plus employee, is throughout the year, so that people are upgrading the skill, and it is also impacting the business as well.
Yes.
So in future, you can also target them. I'm not sure the other such company, I mean, other alternative product is already for the large organization on it. Definitely it should be, but definitely it have capability to grow in that dimension as well. As
Yeah.
you are running this for the last working for this, second question is working for the last 1+ years, and you are also an entrepreneur. So when we start the journey as an entrepreneur, so you need to firstly definitely product market fit is there. After that, you need to, I mean, you have the destination, But to go to the destination, there is a different roads. One road is the by funding, other road is by bootstrapping. You need to see the feasibility of this. I mean, for example, getting the funding too early may not be feasible, but you have to also see, would you able to run this business for the next 1, 2, or 3 years in the bootstrap mode until getting the funding? And if, I mean, you should plan in a way long term so that the passion of this journey you would be able to continue either is the bootstrap mode or the funding mode.
Yeah. Yeah, I am also, thank you very much for that suggestion. I'm also trying to explore my options because getting funding is getting really difficult at present when the product is not already live and don't have users.
It is a thought process that you have to win, either you are getting the fund or not. So you should have the plan in your mind that either of the way, whatever it is coming to your way in future or near future, you would be able to continue with the passion for the at least 2, 3 years and would be able to make it a big, I mean, successful organization.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it
Thank you
from
very
my side.
much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Julius. Thank you. Okay, Pooja, you can stop presenting now. We'll go for the scores now. Anutsa, your scores for Pooja.
So I think Pooja, overall, the problem space you mentioned, I think that is a good problem space. What I couldn't really relate to, or I'm finding it difficult to see a product market fit here with the kind of market which you are trying to focus and the problem which you have taken. So that is one major thing where I'm struggling right now. I think apart from that, the second point which I also was not able to really understand in depth is what is the core thing about your product, because there are multiple modules. Like where have you invented, what is your going to be like the core IP, what is going to be the differentiation? Is it identifying the skill gap? Is it more about learning training? Is it more about giving the ROI? So I think that was like the confusing point for me. But overall, I think you have been in this, you are very passionate about the space, and you definitely have a lot more knowledge than most of us here in this space, right? So I'm sure you would know things much better. But from my perspective, I think I will rate it somewhere around 3 right now, uh, because I don't see right now, in my opinion, the right product market fit here.
Thank you, sir. Srinisa, your scores for Pooja.
Yeah, I completely resonate with what Anuj said. I think strong problem space, well-defined target segment, no doubt about it. But that said, the business impact and ROIs are not kind of coming out very clear. It would definitely help, Pooja, if you can double click on the product market fit. Why competitors may not be actively addressing this segment? I think there is some reasoning that you need to do there because it might be due to low ROI or adoption challenge or other market constraints. So you might need to kind of get more details there. Otherwise, you might need to pivot as well. That's my suggestion. Overall, I would say three out of 5.
Thank you, sir. Hype, sir, your scores for Pooja.
Yeah, definitely. She need to work more from the innovating the product market fit or redefining the product market fit more aggressively, so that it can emerge as a successful product and the idea. And definitely, this product has large mass appeal because SME in India is huge. Quant is huge. If it would be able to finally target that, then definitely it would be a great revenue model and the product if it would be able to over. So as there is some of the work is still remaining to be done on this product idea and the product completion. So based on these analysis, I would rate it to be 3.5. And I would also recommend Pooja to associate because she need to currently plan in a way that how you can associate one or two co-founder so that you all 2 or 3 member can run this business in a lean business model, run this execution of this product idea and the completion and the launch can be done in the lean business model, so that 2, 3 employee as a founder and co-founder would be able to pivot, would be able to complete MVP and launch it so that it can grow the traction in the market and grow.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very
sir.
much.
Thank you so much.
And
All
Pooja,
right, we'll go for the, yeah, go
one
ahead.
last thing. So I think you're very passionate about the space. You might be slightly biased also. So maybe it is good to also, like, if you get a co-founder, objectively evaluate, and sometimes you also like trying to question your assumptions, think more from first principles. I think that might help because you have done that for a long period of your time, like in your life. So there definitely is going to be some bias. So just try to, question all your assumptions, write it down. That might help.
And
Yeah.
Pooja, one more point: the co-founder which you would look for should be in a way that each co-founder should be complementary to each other, so that you would be able to finally run this business model, lean business model, through your all these founder and co-founders, without the further assistance from any external employee or the more employee. I mean, onboarding
Okay.
employees.
Yeah. So, if I can say something, then
Yeah,
I actually found a few people. I don't know if they're perfect to be co-founders, but there's another person from L&D who's also having similar experience, but he has worked more for manufacturing firms, and I've worked for service firms. So there is where I found the gap could be fitted. Another person that I've selected is from the operations background, and she has worked with large enterprises, multiple industries. So I'm actually in the hunt of finding the founders, and there's this
Would
another
recommend
found.
I would recommend you to, as you from the learning and development, other you should pick from the product or the develop product and tech side, and third from the
Okay.
marketing side. Or either it can be
Okay.
product plus growth, which would handle the product and marketing, and the third would be the tech, who would be doing the development. These, I mean, having the other people from the learning and development, it would be additionally. I mean, it is also not good to add multiple co-founders, four, five co-founders. Three is enough. So you should plan in a way that those three, founder and co-founder, would be holistically complementary to each other to build this business model.
Okay.
I have one different point than what Kev mentioned. I think at this stage, maybe a tech co-founder might not be really required because what this needs is a more of a problem validation. Once you feel that, there
Right.
is definitely a problem
After
validation which
that.
exists, then that might be a good stage to go for a tech co-founder.
Correct. So that market
Marketing.
research and market intelligence, those can be done aggressively.
Okay.
all right. Thank you, Julius, and thank you, Pooja.
Thank
We'll
you
go
very
for the
much.
audience poll now. So, audience, please grab your phone and cast your votes for Pooja. You have 20 seconds. All right, time's up. Let's move on. All right. Thank you, Pooja. All the best for you. Now we are in the end of the session. And first of all, thank you, presenters, thank you, jury members, and thank you, audience. Before we announce the winner, juries, please accept the certificate of appreciation on behalf of IPL. And we would love to hear your experience about today's Skillathon and share your final insights. So first up, we have Srinivas sir. Over to you.
I just want to say thank you to all the teams and individuals who have presented today. I think it has been great to see the range of ideas coming in from this team, the creativity in the problems solving space, and the effort you all have put in to kind of get to showcase these product context and content. What stood strongly for me was mainly the presentation was shifted from what AI can do to what users actually needs, and that was exactly the mindset of a strong product managers bringing AI powered product. So that was really good. Nothing much. I just wanted to wish you all very best as you continue your journey in generative AI product management. There's a great space to be in. All the best to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So second of 1 minute. We have Anuj sir. Anuj sir, your final insights and Skillathon experience.
Thank you, Marajan. I think well spent time on a Saturday evening, I would say. Thank you to everyone who participated in this. I think, as Srini said, very different kind of ideas and a good variety to look at. I think a lot of people also are professionals who have worked in the industry and could see a lot of B2B products coming out, which is typically not the case when you do such hackathons. So I think that was great. Like how Pooja was just taking whatever she has worked in, taking that to the next level with applying the learnings in this course. Similarly, people across the board. I think overall, it was good to listen to different ideas, how people are
Yeah.
thinking about AI. And just wanted to wish everyone a good luck for your future endeavors. And I hope like you got some valid pointers from our end as well, something which could help you. So yeah, I think it was. Thank you for having me, Marajan. I think overall a great time to spend on this one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Last up, we have Hepsa. Your final experience and your final insights.
Okay. Thanks for reaching out to me for this.
Yeah.
Definitely, I love to give back to the society, and this is one of the way. I mean to motivate or guide the next generation so that they would be able to get right direction for their better future. And other thing is that it was also I am also glad to see the motivation and the effort put by the different team for making this, I mean, all this project work. And I would also say to these teams and also the other teams who couldn't present this or maybe planning or due to time constraint, that all should do these kind of the hands-on work. These give the real picture or real, you can say, essence of the market, real sense of the market, so that you would be ready. Either you would be changing the job or you would be going as a founding organization or a startup. These are the just the beginning of this. So it as much as hands-on, I mean, you should be able to do 2 to 3 hands-on for this kind of the project, so that that would give you enough confidence which would work you. Either you change the job in the product leadership, product management, or you continue you start continue with that startup. So both the way it works. So all the effort, all the best to you for putting the effort, and suggest put more effort so that you get maximum confidence at this juncture, which would work for your brighter future. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And definitely, we appreciate your time and presence on this platform. The insightful feedback and questions will encourage the learners to look into the product with more clarity. And each questions and each feedback, it was a great insight. Thank you so much for your time. All right, now we'll move for the final thing. Let's see who's the winner. So, any guesses? So, if you have any guesses, please put on the Zoom chat. And by the way, Skillathon winner will also get a voucher of 1,000 rupees. And yeah, and the winner is, we have a surprise today. So we have two winners. So it's going to be team one and team three. Congratulations, team. Pooja, Amol, and Rajiv. And yeah, please go ahead and share your experience. We'll start with Pooja. Pooja, you want to go first? Pooja is there on a call. Amol, you're there? All right. Rajiv, you're there on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Go ahead and share your experience. Nice.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for the opportunity, first of all. So it was a privilege, like, to present in front of jury and everyone who participated. It was very insightful, and yeah, I mean, I would like to keep doing this. Just wanted to ask jury about, like, one question. Generally, like, when it comes to AI products, especially AI adoption, right? And when we scale, what advice can you give, like, what builds real trust in AI systems early on? Especially, like, when it is influencing a lot of business outcomes, according to your experience. So that would be something, like, good to know about. But yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity again.
As we are building the automated system, AI system, you need to see how automated way it is taking the data. I mean, minimal manual intervention for the better experience that can be either for the data or for AI product, if as the system has the data. So how you can utilize the data which is already available in the system so that it would have the minimal interaction from the user. So that would increase the better user experience, and finally that would give the higher value proposition. I mean, solving their bigger problem with lesser intervention, manual intervention. So you can make the product in a way that I mean, for AI product, these are important, including the trust and confidence in the product, ethical factor.
Yeah, Rajiv, I would suggest, data would be one of the key things, establishing some strong data credibility, especially the large enterprise. They all look at privacy, data ownership, data source pieces. Are they kind of protected really well or not? I think if you're able to kind of ensure that the data is on the safe hands and also make sure that the human is there in all their loops, that would really help you to build trust early on.
Uh, so Rajiv, I think in my opinion, what has changed with the AI? Some of the first principles still remain the same, right? So you still have to start from the user, what is their problem, rather than starting from just the AI. But one thing which is which is the fundamental change is that these products which are built on the top of Gen AI are probabilistic in nature. They are not deterministic in nature. And most of the users, whether you take enterprise or even B2C consumers, both have seen products which are 100% deterministic in nature. They expect that whatever they give as an input once, they get the same output every single time, which is not the case right now. So transparency, expectation setting becomes a key part, so that the people, first of all, they understand what this is and use it in the right way. Now how your product actually helps the user to really understand that difference and whether that is the right thing in this case or not. So for example, in your case, when we were discussing about the calculation piece, GenAI is like nothing but the next token predictor. So it is not built for calculations. So having that knowledge of when to use the deterministic systems and when to use GenAI is very important. It does not make sense ki, like you just put everything into LLM and then let LLM figure out. It is actually that engineering between or maybe finding that right balance between a deterministic system and a probabilistic system, which will really help you achieve the right outcome. So I would say that is the learning at least I have in the last few months.
Got it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, juries, and thank you, Rajiv. Congratulations and congratulations, winners. Keep up the momentum going. All right. So with that, we'll wrap the session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and happy weekend. Bye.